Radha Srivasadi Gaura. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 4, chapter 23, text 9. Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan
Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan
Yad Ahadhyatmikam Param
Yat Ahadhyatmikam Param
Yogam Te Neva Purusham
Yogam Te Purusham
Abhajat Purusha Shabha.
Abhajat Purusha.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thus, the best amongst human beings, Mahārāja Pṛthu, followed that path of spiritual advancement which was advised by Sanat Kumar. That is to say, he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In this verse, it is clearly said that Mahārāja Pṛthu, practicing the pranayam yoga system, engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as advised by the saint Sanat Kumar. So Bhagavatam is giving us very clear instructions that the goal of all yoga, goal of all meditation, goal of all austerities, all penances is to serve Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to please Krishna. In these words, the words Purusham Abhajan, Purusharshabha are significant. Purusharshabha refers to Mahārāja Pṛthu, the best amongst human beings, and Purusham refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The conclusion is that the best man amongst all men engages in the service of the Supreme Person. The best man amongst all engages in the service of the Supreme Person. You know, we may think that the service of Krishna is the same as service of the material world because only what we have experienced is of the material world. But service on the transcendental platform is completely different than service in the material world. So we are serving everyone. You know, that's our natural inclination. We have this natural inclination. But we have forgotten that we need to serve Krishna. And the perfection of this service is when we can serve Krishna. One Purusha is worshipable and the other Purusha is the worshipper. When the Purusha who worships the living entity thinks of becoming one with the Supreme Person, he simply becomes bewildered and falls into the darkness of ignorance. So when we think that we are going to become Krishna, we are going to become supreme, that is another illusion that Maya is offering us. As stated by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 2.12, all living entities assembled in the battlefield, as well as Krishna himself, were also present in the past as individuals and would continue to be present in the future as individuals also. Therefore, the two Purushas, the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, never lose their respective identities. So, you know, we may think, oh, after I get liberated, I'm going to enter into the body of Krishna. I'm going to become one with Krishna. But Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 12, no, we were individual and we will continue to remain individual. Means even after liberation, we will continue to remain individual persons. Separate identity. We can never become Krishna, become one with Krishna, is to say, merge into Him. No, because we are spirit souls. And the meaning of spiritual means we are eternal, ever existing. Actually, one who is self-realized engages himself in the service of the Lord perpetually, both in this life and in the next. Indeed, for devotees, there's no difference between this life and the next. In this life, a neophyte devotee is trained to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in the next life, he approaches that Supreme Person in Vaikuntha and renders the same devotional service. Even for the neophyte devotee, devotional service is considered Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Devotional service to the Lord is never considered a material activity. Since he is acting on the Brahmabhuta platform, a devotee is already liberated. He therefore has no need to practice any other type of yoga in order to approach the Brahmabhuta stage. If the devotee adheres strictly to the orders of the spiritual master, follows the rules and regulations, and chants the Hare Krishna mantra, it should be concluded that he is already at the Brahmabhuta stage, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mamcha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatidhyaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who is engaged in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that the neophyte devotee, one who's just beginning devotional service, if he can just follow the instructions that are given by the pure devotee of following the rules and regulations, of chanting Hare Krishna, then he's already on the liberated platform. So Prabhupada would give the example that a mango, a green mango is still a mango. With time, it will ripen and it will become juicy and very nectarian. So the neophyte devotee, he may be at the beginning stage, but he just continues. He continues hearing and chanting, following the instructions of the pure devotee, and he is going to get liberated. It's just a matter of time because he's doing the activity. He is engaging in devotional service, which is a liberated activity. It's the activity of the soul. It's not a material activity. The Sanatana Dharma of the soul is engaging in devotional service. Any questions or comments? But a devotee himself, he never says, oh, he never thinks, I'm liberated, I'm so proud. He understands that he's still in the material world, still, the Maya is very strong, and he's always thinking himself humbly as the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. So this is the pure devotee. Bhagavad Dharmina Sadho
Bhagavat Dharmina Sadho
Shraddhaya Yatata Sada
Shraddhaya yatata sada
Bhaktir Bhagavati Brahmani
Bhaktir
bhaktir bhagavati
Bhagavati Brahmani
brahmani
Ananya Vishaya Bhava.
ananya
Ananya
vishaya
Vishaya
bhavat.
Abhavat.
Mahārāja Pṛthu thus engaged completely in devotional service, executing the rules and regulations strictly according to principles 24 hours daily. Thus his love and devotion unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, developed and became unflinching and fixed. The word Bhagavad Dharmina indicates that the religious process practiced by Mahārāja Pṛthu was beyond all pretensions. As stated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2, Dharma pro jihita kaitavotra. Religious principles which are simply pretentious are actually nothing but cheating. So Bhagavatam at the very beginning rejects all cheating religion. What is cheating religion? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Doing pious activity to get economic development, to get sense gratification, to then search for liberation. All that is called cheating religion. Why? Because it's still going to keep us here in the material world. So Bhagavatam speaks of devotional service, which is completely transcendental. There's nothing material in Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Dharmina is described by Veera Raghav Acharya as Nivritta Dharmina, which indicates that it cannot be contaminated by material aspiration. As described by Srila Rupa Goswami, Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Ruttama. When one who is not inspired by material desires and is not contaminated by the process of fruitive activity and empiric speculation, fully engages in the favorable service of the Lord. His service is called Bhagavad Dharma, or pure devotional service. So Srila Rupa Goswami, he is giving us the definition of pure devotional service. Pure devotional service begins from the liberated platform, Brahma Bhuvyaya Kalpate, from the platform of liberation. The soul completely understands, I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul, I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I'm eternal servant of Krishna. I have a loving relationship with Krishna. And he acts in that relationship. That is pure devotional service. So because the living entity has completely realized he's not the body, so he is not concerned with any material desires. He is not concerned with any philosophical speculation. He does not want to become God. He does not want any siddhis. He's completely understood himself, his constitutional position. So he engages in pure devotional service. In this verse, the word Brahmani does not refer to the impersonal Brahman. Impersonal Brahman is a subordinate feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And since impersonal Brahman worshippers desire to merge into the Brahman effulgence, they cannot be considered followers of Bhagavad Dharma. After being baffled in his material enjoyment, the impersonalist may desire to merge into the existence of the Lord, but a pure devotee of the Lord has no such desire. Therefore, a pure devotee is really Bhagavad Dharmi. So, who is a follower of Bhagavad Dharma is the pure devotee. Not if we aspire that I want to become one with Krishna, I want to become one with God, I want to merge into his existence, then that's not pure devotional service. Still, the material desire is there to become God, So, the pure devotee, he's completely understood his position, self-realized. It is clear from this verse that Mahārāja Pṛthu was never a worshipper of the impersonal Brahman, but was at all times a pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavati Brahmani refers to one who is engaged in devotional service to the personality of Godhead. A devotee's knowledge of the impersonal Brahman is automatically revealed, and he is not interested in merging into the impersonal Brahman. So why is a devotee not interested in merging into the impersonal Brahman? There is no material miseries there. So why a devotee does not want to be in the Brahman?
Because Krishna is not there.
Yeah, that's right.
He cannot have the reciprocation.
That's right. Yes. Yes, he wants to be with Krishna. Yeah. So Mahārāja Pṛthu's activities in devotional service enabled him to become fixed and steady in the discharge of devotional activities without having to take recourse to karma, jnana, or yoga. So directly taking up bhakti. We do not have to take the staircase to go to the top of a building. We can take the elevator. So here Pṛthu Mahārāja also, he is a pure devotee of the Lord, of course. Tasyanaya bhagavata parikrama shraddha
तस्यानया भगवत परिक्रम शुद्धा
Sattvatmanastad anusham smarana nupurtya
तत्व आत्मन तत् अनुसर्मण अनुपूर्तया
Jnanam viraktimad abhunnishitena yena
ज्ञानम विरिक्तनिषेधेन
विरक्तिमद्निषिद्धेन
chicheda samshaya padam nijajiva kosham.
चिच्चेद
चिच्छेद संशयपदं निजजीवकोशम्.
कोशम.
By regularly discharging devotional service, Pṛthu Maharaj became transcendental in mind and could therefore constantly think of the lotus feet of the Lord. Because of this, he became completely detached and attained perfect knowledge, by which he could transcend all doubt. Thus, he was freed from the clutches of false ego and the material conception of life. In the Narad Pancharatra, devotional service to the Lord is likened unto a queen. When a queen gives an audience, many maidservants follow her. The maidservants of devotional service are material opulence, liberation, and mystic powers. So, the queen, she doesn't go alone, right? No, there'll be so many of her lady friends will be there, her servants, her assistants, bodyguards. The queen is never alone. She has this entourage that goes with her. So Narad Pancharatra states devotional service is like the queen. So where queen is going, all this entourage is going. So wherever devotional service is there, then the maidservants are material opulence will be there, liberation will be there, and mystic powers will be there. So the pure devotee, he may choose not to exhibit such things, but it's there, he has them. The karmis are very much attached to material enjoyment. The jnanis are very anxious to become freed from material clutches. And the yogis are very fond of attaining the 8 kinds of mystic perfection. From the Narad Pancharatra, we understand that if one attains the stage of pure devotional service, he also attains all the opulences derived from fruitive activities, empiric philosophical speculation, and mystic yogic practice. So we may have many material desires, we may want to enjoy the material world, to the best of our capability, or we may want to become one with the Supreme, or we may want to get this Ashtasiddhi. But now, from Narad Pancharatra, we can understand if we engage in devotional service, pure devotional service, we can get all these. We don't need to separately aspire for them. Right? No need separately. It's like all in one package, one shop stop, something like that. Engaging in pure devotional service. Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur therefore prayed in his Krishna Karnamrita, my dear Lord, if I have unflinching devotion to you, you become manifest before me personally, and the results of fruitive activity and empiric philosophical speculation, namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, become like personal attendants and remain standing before me as if awaiting my order. So Bilva Mangal Thakur, a great devotee of the Lord, Krishna would come to him, talk to him. A great devotee is written as Krishna Karnamrita. And I'm able to see you personally because of my devotion to you. We have this relationship. He was already in his relationship with Krishna. So he was with Krishna. And then he could see that he can get this if he desires material opulence, or he could get sense gratification if he wants, or if he can merge into the impersonal Brahman. They're waiting for him. They're asking him, what do you want? But he's very happy in his relationship with Krishna, that he does not care for them. We, the soul, are always seeking pleasure. We are not going to give up pleasure. What we find more pleasurable, we will always go there. So we can see that the devotee is getting so much pleasure being with Krishna that he doesn't care. Let him become Brahman, he doesn't want that. He does not want any kind of heavenly pleasures also. The idea here is that the jnanis, by culture of Brahma Vidya, spiritual knowledge, struggle very hard to get out of the clutches of material nature. But a devotee, by dint of his advancement in devotional service, automatically becomes detached from his material body. When the devotee's spiritual body begins to manifest, he actually enters into his activities in transcendental life. So Prabhupada is explaining that if we take up the path of knowledge, it's not an easy path. It takes, Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanamante, Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate, Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabhava. That one who's in the path of knowledge, it'll take many, many births and deaths. And then what will he come to realize? Vasudevam Sarvam. That Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and that I need to surrender here to unto him. So, but the devotee, he does not take so many lives. He just immediately surrenders to Krishna. That's why Krishna says, Sarva Dharmam Parityagya, Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, just surrender unto me. Engage in devotional service. Hear and chant about me. And immediately you can get liberation in this very life. You need to take many, many births and deaths. So Prabhupada is saying when the devotee's spiritual body begins to manifest, like we are building our next body right now by our consciousness, by our mind. We are creating our next body. So if we think of Krishna, then we are creating our spiritual body. Anyway, we'll try to read how much ever we can. At present, we have contacted a material body, material mind, and material intelligence. But when we become free from these material conditions, our spiritual body, spiritual mind, and spiritual intelligence become manifest. So it's not that there is no spiritual mind or no spiritual body or no spiritual intelligence. If there is a material mind, and there has to be a spiritual mind. Why? Because this material world is a perverted reflection. The real mango has to be there. Only then we can see the reflection of the mango. So we have a spiritual body, spiritual mind, and spiritual intelligence. In that transcendental state, a devotee attains all the benefits of karma, jnana, and yoga. So there's a pure devotee. He has no more a material mind. He's completely understood his position. Although he never engages in fruitive activities or empiric speculation to attain mystic powers, automatically mystic powers appear in his service. Because he gets it. He has these powers. There's so many pure devotees. Well, Rasikananda, he showed some of his powers sometimes, He would ride on a tiger and fly on a stone. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. A devotee does not want any kind of material opulence, but such opulence appears before him automatically. He does not have to endeavor for it. Because of his devotional service, he automatically becomes Brahma Buddha. So he is a pure devotee, so it comes, it's like a package. When we get a package deal, these things are included in it. I'm sure you all also must have had, okay, this is a package, and okay, this is a holiday package, for example, and then you pay this, and you will get all these things included. So pure devotee, engaging in pure devotional service, it's a package. He gets all this opulence, he gets all the knowledge, everything. I stated before, this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mamcha yovyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sargunan samatityayitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who is engaged in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So the pure devotee is already on the Brahman platform. He is understood. He is the Brahman, not the Supreme Brahman. He is understood. He is the Brahman, not the Para Brahman. He is not under the control of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Completely understood his spiritual position. By engaging in devotional service, one can come to this platform. We still have about 2 paragraphs. What would you all like to do? Want to stop here? Or there's three paragraphs.
I think we read tomorrow. The rest.
Okay. So we can stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vedanta ki jai.